Hi everyone, I am Jaspreet Bhatia from Landmark Immigration from Canada, Manager International Business. Today we have Ms. Freya Key from University of Prince Edward Island with us. Hi Freya, if you could introduce yourself to our audience today.
Okay, thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Freya. I'm an international recruiter and student advisor at the University of Prince of Island in the east coast of Canada. And thank you so much for Landmark's invitation today so I can be here today and talk with you guys. Thank you.
You're most welcome, Freya. If you could give us a little brief introduction on the university, that would be great.
Yeah, that'd be great. So the University of Prince of Island is located in the east coast of Canada. It's on the province of Prince of Island. So if you look at the map of Canada, so Toronto is right here, Vancouver is here, Prince of Island is right here. So it's on a little bit right side of Canada, and it's above New York. That's where we are. The university is a small to medium-sized university with 4,600 students in total, and about 25% of this population are international students. And you might think, oh, small university, maybe you don't have a lot of international students or the diversity. But actually, our students are from 103 different countries and regions. That make us very, very diversified. So when you come to study at UPEI, you're not just meeting friends with meeting friends from Canada. You're not just meeting friends from your home country. You're also meeting friends from some countries that you probably never heard about it before, or you have no idea where those countries are. So it's a very inclusive university because we do have students from everywhere. So we're used to including their culture and embrace their culture. So you don't have to worry, and you just have to be yourself when you come to the university. And our university also have a lot of different unique programs, and then our affordable tuition living costs, and also our immigration choices options after graduation. So those are some things that come to my mind when I think about the University of Prince of Island.
Okay, so talking about the university more, what would be like the highlighted programs of the university or the most favorable programs of the university?
So I get this question a lot. They ask me, so what's the best program, the most, the most expensive or the best known program that you have? So we do have that program. It's called veterinary medicine. I know it's not very popular in Asian countries, but that is our most famous program because in Canada, there are only 5 veterinary colleges. So veterinary school, only 5. And we are one of the 5. And there are only 2 that takes international students. So we are actually one of the 2 veterinary colleges that allow to take international students. So that's why they make us quite special for this area. But other than the veterinary medicine, so we do have some special programs in engineering. So in engineering, we have sustainable energy and mechatronics. So mechatronics is mechanical plus electrical. So this is quite special in engineering, and in the whole country, there's not a lot of engineering programs that focus on just design and just sustainable energy. And in science, if you're interested in working in the hospital or health-related field, but don't want to be a doctor because it takes 8 years to become a doctor, or 8 to 10 years, right? You can think about food and nutrition, kinesiology, or radiography. Those are all 4-year program at the university. And also, I know that computer science is quite a popular one in most of the Asian countries. So we have the regular computer science. We also have computer science with video game programming specialization. So that's a program that it is still coding. You don't have to know how to draw or how to design characters. You don't need any of that. All you have to do is coding the game. So that's in computer science. And if you're really good in math or numbers, you can think about our actual science and analytics. So that's including data analytics or business analytics. And those 2 are quite popular, especially nowadays. And everywhere needs analytics, right? So those are quite popular. And also in our business, because business school is, every university, they have the most international students is business, right? So our business school is quite strong because one thing is, so every business school have a case competition team to attend case competition, right? So for our university, we do attend case competition. Every year we won award from regional award, national award, international award. And also because we also have accounting program. For accounting, that you probably want to do a CPA when you graduate, right? So for CPA test in Canada, if you do the CPA test, they ask you which university you attended to get your degree, and they keep record of it. So in the past few years for UPEI, our CPA passing rate has been over 90%, always 90% or above. And for the past year, our CPA passing rate was 100%. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, so that's for business. And we also have in arts, we have communication program, which is a media program. So nowadays, a lot of students are also interested in media program. And then another one is music education. So I know it's probably not very popular, but if you want to be a music teacher, music education is an option for you guys. Yeah, so those are some of the unique programs at UPEI.
So there are vast array of programs available for the students here. So we'll just quickly take up one question from Ashish, from Amit. He says that he's talking about, can I apply? So we will take this question later on with regards to IELTS requirement, but if you could throw some light on it, that what's the IELTS requirement for it?
Yeah, of course. So for undergrad and grad, we have a different IELTS requirement. So let's say undergraduate program in arts, business, science, engineering, and those programs, we need IELTS 6.5, overall 6.5 with no band less than 6.
Okay.
And if you're looking at nursing and education undergrad, we need IELTS 7 with speaking, writing 7, the other two 6.5, because those two are the special professional programs. And in master programs, most of them need IELTS 7 with only writing 7, the other two 6.5. But for education and nursing, we need the same for undergrad. It's overall 7, speaking, writing 7, the other two 6.5.
Okay, Freya, talking about IELTS, if somebody has overall 6 and in one of the bands, in one of the modules, you have 5.5, do we have ESL program for such students?
Yes, of course. So if student meet a admission requirement, the academic part, they meet the requirement, but their English or their IELTS doesn't meet the requirement, we do have an option. So we do have our own language center on campus. It's called English Academic Preparation Program. So it's a program designed for students who need extra language support. So how that works is, so let's say if a student have a 6, and so it doesn't meet our IELTS requirement, all they have to do is to come and then take a placement test when they arrive.
Okay.
And then so this is another chance. So if they can pass the test on campus, they don't have to do English language courses. They can go straight to take academic courses. But if they don't pass this placement test, then according to the test result, they will be going to either take maybe 2 or 3 language courses plus academic courses, or maybe you just need 1 or 2 language courses with academic courses. So they will be taking academic and language courses at the same time.
But still, the student has an option to rewrite the exam on campus.
Yes, one more chance.
One more chance. So which
Yes.
is, and how do you still give the offer to a student if he or she has 5.5 in one module and you give them one chance on campus?
Yes.
It's a good academic record, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a very good opportunity for the students who have 5.5 in one module. At least they will get the offer and they have the option. But considering the current situation, Freya, that there is no on-campus studies going on. So how are you going to evaluate the students' IELTS proficiency or English proficiency then?
So actually on June 15th, our university will make an announcement about what courses will be online, what courses will be in person. The majority of the courses will be online for the fall semester, but there will be a small number of courses going to be offered in person. So we have to wait for the announcement for our EAP courses as well. so my like I guess it's gonna be also like online, and they're probably gonna take online tests or something. But we still have to wait for the official announcement. I'm not 100% sure at the moment. But let's say if everything gonna be online, and I know that many Indian students, they don't like to take online courses. That's from my understanding from my other Indian friends, and then other Indian friends as well, like because we do have some current students, they told me they don't want to take online courses from home. In here it's better because like at least they're here, right? But if they're home, they don't want to do online courses. So in that case, we do have a January intake. It's probably going to be in person because hopefully by after September
everything should be okay. Yeah,
exactly. So we're hoping that by January everything will be back to normal, and then students can actually come in January to take in-person classes. And we did get some deferrals requests already for students who are supposed to start in September. Now they want to start in January because they don't want to take online courses, which we understand because I don't like online courses as well, right? So yes.
Okay, so right now, which all intakes are open for you? Are we open for September now and January?
Yes. So we are open for fall 2020, which is September 2020, and then January 2021. Both semesters are open for applications.
Okay, sounds good. And what's the application fee for our potential students?
So for both grad and undergrad, the application fee is $50.
Okay. And let's take up a few questions. We have many of them coming here. So we have Ashish Nama asking us, do you require maths for hospitality program?
Actually, I see this one coming because I know because I did recruit some Indian students before, and I know that many of them don't take math in grade 12. And unfortunately, one of the requirements for business program, including hospitality, is we need a grade 12 math. But we do have another option for students because we know that many of them are in this situation. So what they can do is they can apply for Bachelor of Arts, major in economics, which don't require math. Okay, so when you come to the university, all you have to take is one math course, first year math, and then take economics and business, all other courses. Then if you can pass this math with 70% or above, you will be able to transfer from economics to business after the first semester.
Okay, so
that's the best options that they can do if they don't have grade 12 math but wanted to do business.
Okay. I think there are students who are really interested in. Anil Kumar says that +2 medical 84%, IELTS over 6.5 with no band less than 5.5, health program possible. So he's asking about health programs.
So for health-related program, we have psychology, we have health, food and nutrition, kinesiology, and radiography. Those are the health-related program that we have. And all the IELTS requirement is overall 6.5 with no band less than 6. But if they do, if they did IELTS tests that don't meet the requirement, but they prefer to apply directly, not through the English language program, they can take Duolingo test if they want to, because Duolingo is an online test, right? So it's a shorter, like they can get a result very fast, right? So for undergrad, we need Duolingo 110.
Okay. And talking about Duolingo, are you accepting PTE also currently?
Accept what?
PTE. Are you accepting
yes,
that?
Actually, yes, we do PTE. I don't remember the grades right now, but we do take a PTE.
Okay.
Yes.
So students who have any questions with regards to what programs and queries that they have, they can also email us on info@landmarkimmigration.com or give us call on our numbers below, and we would be more than happy to help you. Let's take up another question here, which is from Samanpreet, and he's asking about a very valid question: tuition fees from MBA programs in PEI University. So let's touch upon the topic of tuitions and scholarship for our students then.
Yeah, so I'll answer this one first. So for MBA, we actually have 2 MBA programs. There's one for 1 year, one for 2 years. So for the 1 year MBA program, it's about 30,000, I think, about 30,000 for the 1 year program, and for the 2 year program, it's about 50,000 for the whole program. So that's for the school fees. So that's for MBA. But for master programs, different master program has a different school fees. But for undergrad, it's more generic. So for undergrad, most of the programs are about 15,000 Canadian dollars a year. The exception is engineering, because engineering needs 1,000 extra for the program fee. So engineering is 16,000. All other programs are 15,000 Canadian dollars. Living costs depends on where you live and how fancy life you want to be, right? But for generally speaking, it's about 10,000 a year if you live off campus. If you buy your own groceries and cook by yourself, it's about 10,000 a year. So you're looking at about 25,000 a year, including food, living costs, and tuition for undergrad. I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi. I don't know if there's something wrong with my Wi-Fi. I can't hear you. Hello, can you hear me?
I think we lost because of Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. Okay, so okay, so talking about the tuition fees now, let's go to scholarships. Do our students have scholarships?
Yes. So for scholarship, we have two type of scholarship. We have entrance scholarships, and we also have so for scholarship for current students. So for entrance scholarships, they have to pass IELTS first, and then we're looking at their grades. If they have like a straight A or something, we will be able to offer entrance scholarships. But we also have a deadline for entrance scholarship. It's every year, March 1st. So for entrance scholarships. And then for current students, you can also apply for other scholarships. Some of them require recommendation letters. Some of them require like different scholarship has a different requirement, and there's no limit how many you can apply for. So if you want to write, you probably can apply for 10 or 20 of them if you want to. But keep in mind that scholarship won't be able to cover your whole cost for your tuition, because as you know that our school fees is quite affordable, so we can't afford to have like 50% of scholarship or 30% of scholarship. That's why when you budget your living expenses plus tuition, make sure you don't budget your scholarship or like your off-campus working, because you can't guarantee that you can definitely get a scholarship, right? You can't guarantee you can get a job day 1 or day 2. So especially for the first year, make sure you can budget enough money to pay for your whole year without a scholarship and working. But of course, when you come, you can go get a job and try to start working right away. But just when you try to budget, especially for the first year, after the first year, you are more familiar with the city. It's easier for you to get a job and also apply for scholarship. Yeah.
Okay, so we have another question here. Arpit S. Seni is asking, I am hospitality professional with 4 years experience, laid off due to Corona for international hotel chain, IELTS 6 overall, speaking 7, so one band is 5, applying for Duolingo as well. Any program available for my profile if I clear Duolingo at 110?
It depends on what program. It depends on your education background, right? So if you already have a business bachelor degree, you can't do a business bachelor degree again. You can do an MBA if you want to, but MBA is quite expensive. On the other hand, so it really depends on what the career goal is. So we are open for like business where you can apply for any programs, but it also depends on what you wanted to do in the future and what your previous education background is, because you can't do the same program twice.
Exactly. So Arpit, any other queries that you have, you really want to get your profile checked, please email us at info@landmarkimmigration.com and we'll be more than happy to assist you. Okay, moving on. There are quite a lot of questions coming in. So Karan Singh has a question. 12th pass out in 2019 medical stream without maths, 66%. I'll score overall 6 with 5.5 in 2 modules. Am I eligible to get admissions for bachelor's degree?
So that means the student got medical stream without math.
Yes.
So no math.
No math. No math.
So if there's no math, the only option is arts.
Right.
So yeah, so no science at all. And if students are interested in do business or arts, if they want to do business, they can start with arts economics and then move to business after that.
Yeah.
And so for IELTS, again, it's not meeting the requirement. So they have the option to take IELTS again, or take Duolingo again, or wait until they come here and take the test here.
Right. Okay, so let's take up another question. Sunny is asking, kindly explain requirement for Bachelors of Science in Nursing.
So for nursing, it's a professional degree, which means it's quite difficult to get in. It's a highly competitive program, and if you go to our website and search for the requirement for nursing, it says 70% as the admission requirement. But if you don't have 90 to 95, it's very, very hard to get in, because nursing, it's not rolling admission. So the admission deadline is February 15th every year for the following fall intake. So at that time, they cut off the deadline, and then they take all the applications and they rank all the applications. So the higher, the better, right? So let's say you got 90s, okay? But this year, all the applicants got 95. Then you can't get in.
Yeah.
You
So
know
it's
what I mean?
first come, first serve, right?
Yeah, so it's not like you apply early, you get in early. So it's more like you get higher, because they rank all the applicants. So even if you have 90, but everyone else has 95, then you still can't get in. So that's why they say it's not like, oh, you got 90, you can get in. So it's not like this. So it's the higher, the better. And also for IELTS requirement, like I mentioned before, nursing has a very high IELTS requirement. They need IELTS 7 with no speaking, writing 7, the other two 6.5. And we do not accept students that don't meet IELTS requirements. So for the university, so for most arts, business, science, we accept students without IELTS or with not enough IELTS, as long as they meet academic requirements. The only two that do not conditionally accept students is nursing and education. So for those two programs, you have to meet the language requirement before you come into the university or before you apply.
Okay.
Yes.
Sarika asked here, Duolingo is accepted. Yes, Duolingo is accepted, Sarika, and you need to have 110 as your score.
Yes, for undergrad, 120 for grad.
Okay. And Harman Sidhu is asking, I've completed 12th from NWAC with 72%, American High School Diploma, 6 overall, 5.5 in one module.
Yeah, so for the academic requirement, it's okay, but for IELTS, still, again, you have different options. Yeah.
Yes. So Harman, you can send in your documents at info@landmarkimmigration.com. You will have to rewrite the IELTS again, or you can even write Duolingo, which is an online exam. So let's move on. Please update on my profile. I'm graduate with 4 years. Arpit, you have to give us more details about your educational qualification, and we will be more than happy to assist you. Email your documents at info@landmarkimmigration.com, and we will help you. Okay, so I would just ask you one very important question. When we apply for our students, what's the turnaround time for the offer letter, Freya?
It depends on it's undergrad or grad. So for undergrad, if you finish the application, submit all the documents, when the application is complete, our turnaround time is about a day or two. But for grad, it's different. Grad, it's about 4 to 6 weeks. Because for grad applications, they actually have to take the package and give to the faculty, and faculty will have to make the admission decision. But for undergrad, the decision is made in our office.
Okay, so undergrad would be a day or two, but grad would take time up to 2 to 4 weeks, right?
4 to 6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks. Okay. Oh, that's a long wait. Okay, so moving on to another question. Shivani is asking, is there any master courses available in medical field?
No, unfortunately, because we don't have a medical school.
Yeah.
We do have a veterinary medicine if you want to be an animal doctor.
Yes. Shivani, if you wanted to explore something else, you can email your documents to us and we will be happy to assist you. Okay, Jatin. Okay, so I think this is a very commonly asked question by most of the students. Gap acceptability, yes or no?
Yeah, we do accept a gap.
Okay, perfect. So Jatin, if we can justify your gap, so gap is absolutely okay. So there is nothing to worry about the gap. Okay, and moving on, let's just see what are the job opportunities for our students if they study at the university. The most important career path question that every student has.
Oh yeah, of course. So we do. So first, while you study, there are two type of work you can do. First is like off-campus job, like part-time jobs, right? So during school, you can work 20 hours per week, and during scheduled holidays, you can work 40 hours per week, which is full-time. So, and after you graduate, you will be able to get a 3-year work permit if you study like longer than 2 years, right?
Okay.
And so the most important thing is make sure you gain work experiences during your school. And also we have a co-op program. So especially in business and science, we highly recommend students to take on co-op programs, especially in business, because those are actually very critical placement for you to actually help you to find your future jobs. I have seen so many friends because I study at this university myself, and well, I did economics, so I didn't have a co-op program with with my economics program. But I have so many friends in business. I've witnessed them get their first full-time employment from their co-op work placement.
Yeah.
And some of them working in the government right now. Some of them working at accounting firms. Some of them are working in local government offices. So just there's so many options for you, but you have to go actually try it out. Even for like part-time jobs, because I do get a lot of students and parents ask me, "Oh, can I get a job when I get to PEI? Can I start working from day one?"
Right.
So realistic speaking, no, because you need at least a month or two to get used to the weather, get used to like everything, right? And you probably don't even have a Canadian resume. You have no idea how to search for jobs. You have no idea. Well, some of them already have some interview skills, but not everyone, right? So at least to give yourself a bit of time, a month or two, to get used to everything. And then we also have a career service to help students to do those things. And
Right.
once you're ready, go for it. Go to the store or go to the different places, go look for jobs. And we actually recommend you to actually work for a bit. But remember, when you come to the university, the most important thing is to study. Because I've seen some students, they overwork themselves and
Yeah.
they like fail a course or two. Because when you fail a course, you waste your money. You have to spend more money and then retake the courses,
Exactly.
right? So I always remind students, study is number one priority. Work comes next.
Right.
Okay, so just make sure of that. And also, lots of students ask me, is it easy to get a job? And easy, it's relatively speaking, right? If you're hardworking, if you are positively, like if you're actively looking for jobs, yes, it's going to be easy. But if you stay home, watch TV all the time, playing with your phone, not doing anything, no, it's going to be hard for you, right?
Yeah.
So it really depends on the student, depends on yourself. If you're actually putting yourself to the market, then yes, it's going to be easy. But I think most of the students from India I've seen were the ones that I know, they're very like actively looking for jobs when they come, and it's quite easy for them to find job because their speaking and everything is pretty good. Their English levels are high, so compared with students from other countries, the employer tend to hire them more. That's what I find, my observations.
Right. So I think you have touched upon a very important point that you have career services team
Yes,
in the university. So every university and college has that. So
yes,
it's always recommended to students to approach them since from the beginning, so that
yes.
you can show your that you can show your CVs, your resumes to them, get your cover letter finished, and be in touch with them so that your possibilities and doors to various job opportunities open. So that is very important. So, moving on, you told me that you have been a student yourself in this university. Why don't you tell us about the life in Prince Edward Island? Because our students have a mind block that they just want to be in Ontario and specifically in Toronto. So how do you handle that? And as a student, if you could share your personal experience of being in that province.
Yeah, of course. So I actually grew up in China, and my hometown is called Wuhan. It's very famous because everybody knows Wuhan right now, right? So that's where I grew up. And it's a huge city. When I left, there were 14 million people. Now I think it's over 20 million. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a huge city. So when I first came to Prince of Island, it was a big change for me. I came from a 20 million, well, it was 14 million city to a very small city, right? It was a little bit difficult in the beginning, and also, as you know, Canada is a very it's a very warm and welcoming country. So when I first came to Prince of Island, when I walk on the street, people are smiling at me and
Mm-hmm.
they say, "How are you?" And
Yeah.
for the first month and a half, I couldn't adapt to them. Like, why are you talking to me? I don't know you, right? That's how I felt for the first month and a half. But after that, I'm like, okay, everybody's doing that. That must be normal here.
Right.
And then after a while, I get used to it. Now I also, after a while, I start smiling at people, start answering their questions, and then I realize, okay, that's everybody does here. And
Yeah.
that's how I felt. My first impression about PEI. But one thing I do want to say is Prince of Island is very different than Toronto, because Toronto is a huge city with lots of tall buildings, very busy, and it's more like it's a city style, right? Like a modern city style. And if you like that type of life, that's something that you wanted to do, PEI is not your choice. I always tell people up front, because I don't want to tell you, oh, it's a great place, you come. And then when they come, they're like, where's here? I can't find anything. So
Mm.
it is a small province, it's a small city, but it's quiet. It's easy, it's good for you to study, because that's why you want to be here, right? And
Right.
then the second is it's a very safe, very, very safe place. I've lived here for 11 years. It's
Okay.
a very safe place. And then not a lot of, like, there still be no small thief, all those type of things happen. I'm not saying there's no bad people, but it's relatively speaking, it's safe. It's quite
Right.
safe here. Yeah.
Right.
And then another thing is I find people are very willing to help you. Not like even for professors, like if you need any help, you just go to the professors. Like when I was a student, that's one thing I do feel, because I do have friends that study in other big universities. They told me, like, they go to class, 1,000 people in the class or 700. They can never see the professor. They always talk to the TAs. But for me, I have 30 classmates. And in one course, I remember a third year math course, I had 5 classmates, including me, 5 students. With the
Okay.
professor, 6 people in the classroom. It's so easy. The professors are so easy to assess, approach. Yes, approach.
Yeah.
And when I have a question, I don't ask my classmate. I go straight to the professors. I don't need to make appointment. Just go to the office, knock on the door, and ask, "Can I come in?" Right? And then it's so easy to build relationships with the professors.
Right.
And that's important, because I get so many on-campus jobs from the professors. Like, I took a lot of math courses. I
Mm-hmm.
just asked the professor, "Can I be your student marker next semester?" And if I do really well in class, they know me. They'll say, "Oh yeah, of course." Right? That's how I got my on-campus jobs. I know every single of my professors, and they all know me by names. And that's the most special thing I felt about UPEI, is the connections. And
Right.
that's very important for you to, doesn't matter if it's you get your co-op or your grad school, or your when you graduate, you need to find jobs. Those connections will follow you the whole life. Because
Right.
whenever you need help, you just go back, talk to the professor. They're willing to give you a reference letters where they can pull some strings, and then talk to some people, and then get you some help.
Right.
I think those are the special things that I felt when I was a student.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I got so many help, received so many helps from my professors and also UPEI staff members. And actually, one of the reasons why I wanted to work for UPEI is because I received so much help from the international office when I was a student. Like,
Mm-hmm.
whenever I needed help, I just go to their office and knock on the door and ask for help. And then after a while, I'm like, that's something I wanted to do. I want to help I want to help international students. I want to give them as much help as I can. just like what they did to me. So that's why I started working at the international office.
Okay, so the close-knit community in the university brings people together. The professors are definitely approachable, and it also opens more doors for job
Yes,
opportunities, for future connections, for getting reference letters from your teachers, and you have always have a helping hand in a university like that, right?
exactly.
So when in big universities in cities like Toronto, students are actually lost because there are so many students that the student faculty ratio is really high, right? So
Hmm.
because of that, the students actually feel lost, and they don't have that one-to-one connection.
Hmm.
So that's a very good thing that with your university there is a small knit community, small size classes, and people feel connected to each other, right? So they grow better. I believe that they grow better in small knit communities. Correct?
That's how I felt too. But of course, there are students that they like that city style. They wanted to be in a huge city with lots of tall buildings and cars. So
Yeah.
it depends on the students. If they
Right.
prefer, if they're okay with a small city, small community, we're definitely a very good choice.
And I'm sure the cost of living for a student would be really low in Prince Edward Island as compared to other cities, right? Other big cities.
Yes. So for Prince of Island, if you live off campus for the whole year, the cost is between 8,000 to 10,000. So usually I tell students to budget at least 10,000 so that you have a little extra money for yourself. Yeah.
Right.
So
Okay, so let's take few questions before we close this up. Ravi is asking, I did graduation in 2019, BA 67% under social science with economics, but I have 3 years gap after plus two and 1 year gap after graduation. Can I apply for PG program?
so you can apply for master programs. It depends on what your work and stuff, but I don't know if you can actually like meet the requirement,
Right.
but you have to try it because it depends on your work experiences and everything. And
Mhm.
then also I don't think we social science with economics because we don't have like master of arts in economics. We're in social science.
Right.
So we have a master of education, we have a master of business administration, we have island studies. So those are the only three that has like course based. So I
Okay.
don't know if that's something that Ravi is interested in.
Hmm. So, Ravi, you can send in your documents to us, and Priya has already mentioned the courses which you can opt for. So, if you're interested in any of them, send across your documents at info@landmarkimmigration.com, and we'll be more than happy to help you. Okay, few last questions from you, Freya.
Mhm.
Uh, this is a good one. Open board and distance education is acceptable at the university, Freya?
Uh, distant. Not really, but it's more like a one-on-one. So for those ones, we sometimes make exceptions, depends on their academic histories.
Hmm.
But usually, general speaking, distant learning is not acceptable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's take a question from. Okay, this is Harman Sidhu. I think he has
I
already
think we'll
asked
do
the
this one.
question,
Yes.
right? So, Harman, if you have asked the question again, so please send in your documents or call us on the numbers mentioned below, and we will help you with your eligibility and we'll help you with your program. Okay, and Chamanpreet, we have already answered your question about living costs and accommodation charges. Make sure you have $10,000, around $8,000 to $10,000 with you to for your living cost if you're planning to stay off campus. Okay, let's take up the last question. Can you guide on Masters of Business programs, fees, and what companies usually visit for job fair in your university?
I think I mentioned it, the MBA program and fees. So for the 1 year MBA, it's about 30,000. 30,000, yeah. And for the 2 year MBA, so it's called EMBA, it's about 50,000. And
Right.
so we do have job fairs every year, and the job fairs usually are the companies that's local. So anywhere from health related to army to accounting firms or financial firms, banks. So like all different type of jobs where the companies will come to our job fair. So those job fairs are hosted by the university. We also have city job fairs that's hosted by other organizations that students are free to attend as well.
Okay. So, Freya, thank you so much for answering all the questions from our students. Any last words from your end before we let you go about the university, about anything that you want to share with our audience today?
I think one thing I do want to mention is if you're a high school graduate and if you're not sure what you wanted to do, it's okay because university is a time for you to explore what you like. And let's say if you start with business that you don't like, and you can switch to something in arts. If you start with arts that you're not sure if you like it or not, you study for a while, you don't like, you can also switch to something else. So university is a time for you to actually explore your interest and your what you want to do in the future. And if you're a university student and you wanted to transfer, we can do that too. And then if you like, let's say if you're studying engineering or computer science in India, and you realize you don't like computer science, you wanted to do business, no problem. You can transfer to do business. And if you're doing masters, I know that we don't have a lot of master options, but if you need help or anything, make sure you talk to the awesome people from Landmarks, and I'm sure they will provide all the professional advices for you. Yes,
Right.
that's what I wanted to share. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Priya, for all that information. It was really informative session from your end. And I'm sorry if we have missed out any questions from any of the students. Please send us your documents or give us a call. Send your documents or queries on info@landmarkimmigration.com. And there are numbers at below mentioned for you to give us call, and we will be more than happy to assist you. Thank you so much, Priya, for all your time. And we're looking forward to some recruitment of our students for you as well. Right?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank
Bye bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.